So what's it like seeing this great enlightenment of our century? Being aware of the great enlightenment of the 21st century that is just about to happen. What does it feel like? I mean, I can explain what it is. It's fundamentally the completed model of the human species and all that comes from that. The amazing, it's a breakthrough and the amazing moving forward that occurs because we're aware of this, and so many things we can resolve. Big things like we can understand organizational disease and where it comes from, and we can respond to it appropriately. It will no longer be a systemic problem, just troubling everything. It'll be addressed. We'll understand it. We'll know how to respond, and we'll also know what tyranny is. Tyranny is just the end stage of organizational disease, and we know how to treat that as well, with freedom, with liberty, with liberal democracy. And we know how to treat organizational more systematically and universally now with organizational hygiene. We understand where it comes from. And all this comes from the awakening to the completed model of the human species, and so many other amazing things come from that awakening as well. But I thought I spent a lot of time in these videos explaining these dynamics in what I hope are fairly straightforward and simple terms and accessible terms that people can think about and see. But what does it feel like? What does it feel like to stand here and be aware of it and realize it's coming? And I thought about that because there definitely is it has emotions to it. And to me, it feels like to be aware of this, it guides me in what I want to do with my life, obviously. But what does it feel like? Well, I think maybe it feels like if you're standing on a beach alone, looking out at the ocean and being intoxicated by the sound of it, by the sight, by the breeze coming from it, just by the experience of being beside something so immense. That's kind of what it feels like. Or maybe at night when the stars are out and there's no clouds and you look up and you see all the stars and you just feel like you're embracing, somehow experiencing the universe. I think it feels like that in my private emotions. And it's amazing and it's wonderful. And to know so much good is just around the corner. And yet I stand here alone, the only one talking about the completed model and all that comes from it. But I think, the message is being broadcast across the world, and there'll be a few people that will pick it up that will say, oh, right, I see now, I understand this. And then hopefully maybe us few will begin to spread it, and then eventually over the next decade or two, I really feel this is the time for it. This great awakening occurs. Humanity becomes self-aware, understands the completed model of the human species, and the two great driving forces in human systems are technology and consciousness, what we believe, how we understand life is. So it's a huge thing to awaken to the completed model. And it opens up such doors. And there's already so much work I've been doing. I mean, I've been aware of the completed model for 30 years, and I've been steadily trying to share it with people to no avail. Like, nobody has ever agreed with me or said, oh yeah, that's correct. Which I think in the future they'll be really scratching their heads as to how people didn't see it. But this is always the way. So I've dedicated my life to finding new ways to communicate it, understanding it even better, understanding, I think the last 5 years I really began to understand organizational disease and its relevance in the completed model. And maybe I'll find some more interesting things moving forward. But I think maybe moving forward, it will be more about other people becoming aware and then us working together to respond appropriately now with this new consciousness. But that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm looking out. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to be aware of it and see it. It's such an amazing event. It's just about to happen. And right now there's just one person looking at it. But I think soon, some anomalies. The world is interesting. Things happen. Sometimes, I wonder if sometimes somebody will be there and they'll have an unusual dream, or maybe a few of them for a few days about something, and then they'll see one of my videos and they'll realize, oh, it's kind of what I was dreaming about, because there's a whole bigger reality aspect to these things too. But that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel frustrating or sad or upsetting. I mean, it energizes me. it feels beautiful. It feels amazing, and you see the world getting more and more troubled, and it's not anything anybody would want to be happening, but you realize that difficulty will push people to being open to the possibility of seeing the world differently, because it's really one of those fundamental changes, like from, I know it's a cliche, but when we realize that the sun doesn't orbit around the earth, we orbit around the sun. It challenges everything we fundamentally think about life, and the completed model challenges some of the normal ways of thinking we have about our species. And it's not that they're wrong, it's just that they're incomplete. We're not accounting for essentially the last 10,000 years and why it's been so different, and understanding that. But that's what it feels like, and I'm making these videos. I'm thinking, okay, we'll see. Maybe somebody will connect. It'll be wonderful. And also doing online meetings and explaining it, amongst many other ones that I do. But this is, I think it's just beautiful. It's just wonderful. This great enlightenment that I see before us, that I see is just about to happen now. And yeah, that's what it feels like. I think it's a good feeling to see it, to know it. So yeah, I just thought it would be interesting, because I talk so much about the dynamics of it, and I talk so much about applying it, and I call it the white pill just because it's a helpful way to think of it, and actually it's a helpful, the red and white bleep, but just a helpful way to analyze things. But I thought I'd speak about the feeling of it, what it feels like, and that's what it feels like. It's quite amazing. It's just something wonderful. So and those would be maybe my private feelings, really. I don't know if I share them, but yeah, to be awake, to be aware, to see it, to see this great enlightenment that's about to happen, is a wonderful feeling.